Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to
Welcome.
the Revolutionary Baddies podcast.
Yes.
We are in season 2. Thank you so much, so much for being here.
Yeah.
My name is Dee Dee.
Yeah.
And Brittany's here.
Of course. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this conversation. Very excited about episode 2.
Season 2, episode 2.
Season 2, episode 2, all the things. And want to give a big shout out to our Patreon subscribers, our followers, the folks that have subscribed to our podcast page either on Spotify or on Apple, on Amazon, on YouTube, all the places that Revolutionary Baddies podcast lives. Thank you so much for your support.
Yeah, shout out to the few people who are international. I don't know who's like the one person in Switzerland, the one person in India, but shout out to y'all too.
Yeah, shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much. And want to give a shout out to the organizations in our community that have been reaching out to us to, just garner our participation in their programming, whether it's about civic engagement or about some of our revolutionaries. Like, it just makes my heart swell for us to already get so many invitations from our community. So keep them coming.
Yeah.
Keep them coming.
We're ready.
Yeah.
Booked and busy. Booked and busy is a plan. I mean, I'm so excited to be in season 2. I feel like for season 1, we hit everybody with such a variety of topics.
Yeah, for sure.
And big topics. So it was really hard. Like, how do you talk about capitalism in less than 90 minutes?
Right.
How do you talk about internalized white supremacy? Like, these are big umbrella topics. So for season 2, we're looking to dig in more to some of those larger umbrella topics. And as we put in our manifesto, we want to normalize, redefine, and illuminate the very essence of the revolution. So season 2 is really going to be about digging into what do we need to build a sustainable revolution?
Yeah.
Because at this point, it's really the only option. When people be like, oh, reform or revolution. The current regime is not even leaving the opportunity for reform to even be possible.
That window is closed.
The reform window is out of business like Piggly Wiggly in a small town.
I mean, people should do what they can.
Right. Don't give up on reform. But
we're not saying either or.
But the window is tight. It's tight.
Yeah. It's non-existent and depending on where the hell you at.
Right. And the way, obviously, this week in North Carolina, the way our maps are being redrawn by state Republicans, it's leaving really no option but revolution on the table.
I mean, we should just be ungovernable.
I'm waiting for the word. I'm waiting for the email to call. I don't know if it's going to be a hooty hoo or the bird call. I've been waiting all my life to not follow rules.
I really hope it's not a signal message.
Uh-oh.
That's going to piss me off. That's going to piss me
off. Y'all hear that, organizers? Dee Dee is saying y'all better come up with a bad signal.
Come and get me. Fuck all that.
Pull up.
No, come get me.
No, for real.
What? I don't get it.
Yeah. So we are we're at that moment in time where we have to dig deep into the concept of revolution, because much like the topics we discussed last season, it's a very big umbrella.
Absolutely.
Like, what?
Absolutely.
And so we're gonna do our part throughout this season to really redefine it and talk about, like, what type of revolution do we want?
Yeah.
What can we build?
Yeah,
because we don't have, because a revolution is happening.
It is
on the other side.
We're in it.
We're literally,
we're in it. So it is a question of how do we be if we know we in it.
It reminds me of, I had a conversation with my homegirl just this morning, and we were, just like kind of being facetious, talking about different things, but we were talking about like zombie apocalypses and stuff. And we're like, it's one of those things where you see somebody tweaking outside your window and you're like, damn, what's going on with them? Like everything starts in small phases. And then the next thing you know, it's a whole zombie situation outside. The conversation started because earlier this week, Amazon servers went down.
Oh, yeah.
And no one knew, I won't say no one knew, most people did not know how much was connected to it.
Right.
And my friend, she works for a bank, and their systems were down. Other companies that I work with, their systems were down. And so we talked about how when these changes or when these things are happening, these events, it's this small, like, damn, my email ain't working.
Right.
Damn. Like, damn, the phone system, that's crazy. And then like it hits you like, oh shit, we in it. Like all things are down. It's a global system failure or something. So that's kind of how the revolution is like, oh damn, they shutting off these services. We ain't having elections in 4 years. And next thing you know, it's like, oh, this might be the revolution.
Yeah, I mean, also like think about it, like Amazon servers being down, and so many other places that carry different scales of importance in our daily lives, and just from Amazon being down, they're all down. So it was a thing that also exposed the vulnerability of these systems.
We weak.
With all the connection, all of the like monopolizing that they're doing, you know, collecting and scooping up and owning different sectors that are doing the same things. It also exposes their vulnerabilities.
Yeah, the company that I could not get an email through to was a fire monitoring company that monitors fire panels for properties. So, like, what the hell do y'all have to do with it? And that's a pretty important thing. Like, I could not get an email through to a company that gets the alarms to notify local fire departments about
fires.
Fires.
Yeah.
So, because me and Dee Dee watched Leave the World Behind again this week.
It was my second time.
Lord, the vulnerability.
It's wild.
I would recommend going back and watching it, and you don't have to listen to a lot of what the other characters are saying, but whatever Mahershala is saying, his character, write it down.
Yeah. Especially at the end.
He was dropping gems.
Yeah, when he had that little monologue. Yeah. It was a message.
It was a message.
I got it.
Yeah.
No, I got it.
Yeah, no. It's like, all right. Well, let me remember we talked about in Shooters and Looters, get the go bags.
Yeah.
And just have it.
Get the go bags. But you know what's funny? I've heard people be like, okay, go bags, but where are we going?
Sometimes it's around the corner. Sometimes you just gotta go. You just gotta get on foot.
You just gotta start walking. Okay.
It, you know,
that's something for us to build towards. Where are we going?
The hills. Higher ground.
The hills. Unless you got a bunker, there's really nowhere else to go. But yeah,
the hills.
I'm hitting hills.
I don't know. Rural. You go rural. You get out the city.
Yeah.
You know, and when you're thinking about like chaos and things like that, you got to get out the city.
I'm scared.
No, for real.
No, I'm scared. I'm scared to go in the rural. Cause I don't know what be going on out there. And it's like hella. It's too many. It's too much. It's a lot of different types of wildlife out there.
Yes,
including the human beings.
Yeah,
because they live wild lives.
That's why in the South you gotta have a blicky. It's not just for the humans, the bears, the deer.
It is for survival.
Cougars, mountain lions,
all kind of shit.
All type of little things. Ticks. Gosh, yeah. I gotta.
Oh yeah,
I need a
them
tick
things
kit.
are deadly. Literally.
Oh yeah, they'll take you out.
Yeah,
sick as a dog.
No cure in sight.
Truly.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, no. That go back episode, I forgot some of the wild things I said, and someone mentioned it to me, and I was like, "No, what?" I was like, oh, I did say that, man. I have to go back and listen to the episode. Somebody was like, got that rose for that go bag. And I was like, what? And I was like, damn, I did.
They brought the rose back. You said it.
I did say it. I did. You know, y'all, I be joking a lot. We be joking a lot.
Where are you going to charge that?
I said I need it.
Let's just think about that.
We need solar panel ones. Solar.
You never know where technology will take us, but that is really up for us to decide. Like, where are we going? Where are we going? And where we are going really does depend on the leadership. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And leadership can look so many different ways. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I mean, all power to the people.
Right.
For sure. And everyone should have a role. Every role is important, and nobody should be doing everything. That's kind of, you know, how I live and how I organize. And who makes the decision is also really important. Just as important in some ways as what we do.
Very much so. And who we entrust to lead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Group, I posted about it earlier this week. Group discernment. We have to be able to, as a group, whether it's being a constituency or being a part of an organization, or even if you're a part of a church congregation, everybody got to be able to kind of lock in and have a certain amount of like group discernment to say, like, is this the person who could best lead us?
Yeah.
Do we entrust them with this role because they embody the best characteristics? And we got to also know when someone may be already propped up as a leader when we say it's time to call them in.
Yeah.
Durham is doing that during the elections right now. Ooh, spicy.
It's spicy.
It's people already in leadership roles right now, and the group discernment is actually locked in.
Yeah.
And people are like, I might not be for this and that, but I'm definitely definitely against that. It's time for somebody to go home.
Yeah.
For somebodies to go home.
Somebodies.
And I think that is going to be an essential skill when we can come to consensus about when someone no longer should lead.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when we could, go for some new leadership.
And there are so many examples that we've had throughout history of deciding, and, especially of people from the diaspora, from the African diaspora, like, there are literally histories of factions of not whole countries, right? But groups of people on the continent that have developed very strategic ways of deciding leadership that is outside of patriarchy and capitalism.
And we need to get into it.
Right.
Okay, but first, before we get into it, because we're getting into it, we got to get into how we've been doing, because just last week was Dee Dee's birthday.
Oh, yay.
Yay.
Shout out to the Libra.
Balanced.
Yeah, I am.
How you feeling?
I feel very grown. I feel very grounded as well in who I am and where I'm trying to go, and still inviting lots of lessons and learnings and inviting newness always into my life, new adventures, new challenges. But I didn't make any big kind of revelatory, here's what I'm definitely going to do this year, kind of things, as I normally would do. But really just wanting to continue what I'm working on and really grow it. And like, I was thinking about this last week of like, just thinking about the podcast, for instance, like Revolutionary Baddies. This is our baby that has come to life, and that I really feel like I'm only giving this like 50% of what I know I could give. And so I'm just thinking about that way of thinking about how I want to enter this next chapter of growth and of, just really expanding my own creativity and feeling confident in it. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Welcome to 36.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Happy to be a part of the 3-6 Mafia.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to us.
We in it.
Yeah. What about you, Britt? How you doing? How you been?
I've been doing good. I've been doing great.
Yeah.
Actually, it was wonderful to get to celebrate your birthday. Had a ball. Had a great time.
Yeah.
I love fall. Like, the older I get, the more this is becoming one of my favorite seasons.
That's good.
A little crispness in the air.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand being that hot anymore. And I'm excited about just what's to come. Ending out the year strong, and whatever that means. Really, ending out strong means like just happy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ultimately. And yeah, I can't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
I'm getting my toes sucked like they sweet baby Ray ribs.
Listen, which episode was that when we set it on?
I gotta go back and bless that
it was
episode.
the second one, maybe.
I dropped it.
No, I don't remember, but it was a goodie.
Oh, it was such. I gotta go back.
I think it was the feminism one.
It might have been.
I think it was the feminism one.
Whoa.
Yeah, for those that are not familiar, we had an episode where, we're talking about how.
Oh, men not telling us what to do with our nails.
Yes, yes.
But if you like toes, then maybe.
Maybe if you're the right nigga, da da da. And then Brittany proceeded to say,
I said, put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
Dee Dee proceeded to say, dip it in your drink. And that set off a whole cosmic chain of events. What's the alchemist? The universe will conspire on your behalf.
Yeah.
My toes have barely been dry. They haven't been dry since last season.
So, great things are happening over here.
You need friends that help you manifest. Like, what a connection. So,
dip it in your drink.
Woo.
Yeah. So, love that.
So that's how I've been, just doing the normal things with a little excitement here and there.
Yeah.
And it's so much more to be excited about for this season. And yeah. We're getting into this wonderful episode today. A couple of disclaimers.
Disclaimers.
We're gonna get the disclaimers out of the way.
Disclaimers.
Revolutionary zaddies. Now, this is for everybody, but particularly for my zaddies, I want you all to listen very closely. We are going to be talking about institutionalized sexism, aka patriarchy. We are not talking about you as an individual man.
Right.
Although it may very well apply to you.
Right.
We're going to be talking about redefining leadership and looking at leadership with more women being in that place, because women have always been leaders, right? So keep in mind that as we say, men, we are talking about a social construct, the ideal of what a man is,
right? Not
our beloved zaddies,
right?
Who have divested from patriarchy.
Let us hope.
You better. Now, damn it. And if this is your start, welcome. We're glad to bring you through it, right?
Welcome.
So we're going to be talking about institutionalized things, how people have been constructed through socialization, right?
Yeah. And history.
Right.
Yeah.
And so keep that in mind as we explore these topics, right? I think that's the main disclaimer. It may be a couple of more.
Yeah. I mean, the disclaimer, it could also be that, like, in some ways we're also not trying to contribute to any narrative that is, like, anti-men, contributing to the the kind of on, I don't know, the like gender wars that sometimes shows up on our feeds, on our timelines, blah, blah, blah. That is not also what we are talking about. We're having a radical conversation about the impacts of institutionalized sexism and how it
threatens the revolution.
Literally threatens the revolution. That is what we're talking about. And trying to have a very sober, honest conversation about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes that may just mean I'm talking about you, nigga. No.
Yeah.
But follow us. So I'm excited to...
Don't leave us.
Be a good listener, okay? A good man is a submissive man. Okay, look, y'all, I'm joking. Not really. Yeah,
a little truth.
Duh. But we'll get into that. So the Black feminism episode that we had last season, a lot of people loved it, but I'm excited to approach this subject from a different lens, and talking about a radical feminist revolution.
Woo-woo.
Because nothing less will save us.
Literally nothing less.
And
a radical feminist revolution. That's what we're calling for.
I think that's the plan, Stan.
Yeah.
Anything outside of that, I don't is bound to fail in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
we have to get some core definitions out. One, feminism. Everyone should be a feminist. Everyone. And there's a lot of misunderstanding about what feminism is. Right. That's when the gender wars conversations come up. And it's like,
yeah. I mean, it don't even come up. It don't even get that far. It just be like, who's going to pay for the date? Who's like, these very, very
feminists
petty.
Got us working.
Very petty issues that are not actually about systems.
Yeah.
The systems of oppression. Even though the social cultural components of it are vastly important, but they are determined based on the systems.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So a brief definition is feminism is a movement to end sexism, sexist exploitation, and oppression. Very simple. And so when people say that they're not a feminist, it kind of makes me think, like, now in this time that we're in, recently a professor at UNC was put on leave because he was an anti-fascist. And I'm like, so if you're against an anti-fascist, what are you?
What are you?
Are you fascist? I'm confused.
Right.
So when people say that they're against feminism or they don't like feminism, one, obviously that means you don't have a real understanding of it, because there's no way out of your mouth you're saying that you're against the end of sexism and sexist exploitation.
Yeah. I mean, there are people.
Now, there are people who actually are, like, because they really believe in that based off of your gender, you have a place in society. I don't, I'm holding my tongue on that. I was about to say something snipey. It may be at a church.
Sniper, no sniping.
It may be in some circles or communities.
Yeah.
But it is a movement to end sexism, sexist exploitation, and oppression. So if you are down for that, you are, my dear, my sir, a feminist. And patriarchy is institutionalized sexism. And it is a system that is upheld by both men and women. And so, despite men being the primary beneficiaries of patriarchy. So, when we go through this conversation and we talk about people who are not feminists, anti-feminism, who are patriarchal, that does not just mean men.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Bell Hooks wrote that the biggest patriarch she knew was her mother. She upheld it higher than anybody she had ever met in her youth. Yeah. It was her mother who reinforced these ideals and concepts to her continuously. And so it can be, a lot of people got to come up out of it, but it really comes down to having a thorough understanding and analysis of what it is. And overall, we want to talk about in doing the, going into the revolution and leadership skills. We do not need that barrier there that keeps women out of leadership.
Yeah. I think for me, just coming from the understanding around history and how pervasive and linked, like intertwined, racial capitalism is to patriarchy. And realizing kind of what is going to be absolutely necessary for us as in working class people. I'm saying working class people, which the working class across this globe is predominantly women. But working class people really are overcoming and winning against this empire of imperialism and Zionism, all of that. We're going to need different leadership, and particularly we're going to need non-male leadership. And there's so many examples across history that this has existed, been successful, contributed to the revolutions that we know about, that we don't know about, that we talk about on this podcast, have been because of the contributions of women.
When when I think about hierarchy, which is how racialized capitalism functions, and dominant groups versus non-dominant groups, typically, whether it's across racial or gender or class lines, the least dominant group has actually a more clear perspective on everything. And the dominant group is typically blinded by their own privilege. They're too high up, perched up. And so what we need in this moment are really what, quote unquote, the least of these. The people at the very bottom are typically the most revolutionary because, one, they have the most at stake, the most to fight for. And as you said, with women being predominantly the working class, and having what they call triple oppression as workers, as women, and particularly as Black women, we have a much better understanding of the problems that we face and what we need to do. And there can be no real revolution where any form of domination continues to exist. So Black women and Black men and brown and other people of color, the men and women can engage and struggle together against this empire. But if there's still a layer of dominance within it, it's not sustainable. And so that's what we need in this time, is to redefine leadership and women. I think it's time. Because we've been leaders.
And it's interesting because when I talk to my friends and I'm like, leading up to this episode, particularly making the case for me, which is like, men cannot lead the next American Revolution, period, in my opinion. And especially one that is being led by the working class, being led by the proletariat, being led by those most directly impacted. Y'all have led enough. Y'all have led quite enough, and led us straight into this hellhole dumpster fire that we in right now. And
our
I know that
planet is about to kick us off.
I know that like context and different identities play a role, and so this is one of the only ways that immediately many women or non-men connect to this argument of why men can't lead us in the next revolution. I think also talking about some of the core values that we will need to carry, which will be different than what we've seen before. Literally different. The ways of and the practices of leadership are coming from patriarchal values. And those things no longer serve us.
No.
That's just it. Like, it really is that simple. The leadership and the way that it's been defined and practiced, whether we're taking a look at, for example, our U.S. presidencies, which, again, understanding that poor people, working class people, especially black people, black and brown people in this country it was never the plan for us to get free, right? No. And so there's centuries now that we've spent with men in leadership of this country and have grown it so big that it is eating itself, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, just the economic control that this country has, it is the beast that is like rocking and has been like rocking and running, ruling, and going to war with the rest of the globe for power, for hegemony, really, for hegemony.
There it is.
Not just power, literally hegemony. And so I think that what we're making the case around is there is a history of women revolutionaries that have led revolutions, that have been behind and unknown, unknowingly behind some of the largest revolutions, but also that, like, it's time.
Yeah. And one thing we were talking about before we recorded this episode was we need a love-based revolution.
Yes.
And that sounds really sweet and philosophical.
Not cliche, yeah.
But truly, it has to be centered around love.
Yeah.
Like, because once again, some of the revolutions of the past have been about switching out one group being in dominance and for another group being in dominance, particularly groups of men.
Right.
So, Bell Hooks, who I leaned on heavily for getting ready for this episode, she talks about how women, her quote is, "Men theorize about love, but women are more often love's practitioners." And, going back to like the disclaimer, it's not about us innately just having certain things based off of gender, but how we're socialized.
Yeah.
Women are socialized very early on to have a different relationship towards the concept of love.
Absolutely.
Practicing love, showing love, cultivating love. It's our thing. I mean, literally.
I mean, all the way down to our toys.
Yeah.
The toys that are given to girls generally are baby dolls. They're dolls. These are things that you want to take good care of. You want to nurture. You want to dress. You want to feed. We're make-believing. We're being literally raised to make believe ourselves as nurturers. From as small as you can hold a baby doll, you gonna have one more than likely if you are a little girl. It is not the same for boys. That is not one of the first toys often that boys are given.
They're giving toy soldiers.
They're giving toy soldiers. They're giving action figures. They're giving trucks, fake guns, things that are made with the intention around some sort of destruction, generally.
And you can find a 2-year-old single toddler stressed that her baby doll need to be fed.
Right.
My child has...
she can't find a bottle.
My child has stressed me out before. Like, my baby is hungry. The doll is at the restaurant with us. Like, what we ordering her? And I'm like, we ain't ordering that doll nothing. Okay, my daughter's a young mother, Yeah. And so it's not so much that it's bad that little girls are handed these dolls, because tending to and nurturing someone else is one of the greatest acts you can do. not just as a child, but just in relational dynamics.
Yeah. It's a thing that also grows patience and compassion.
Because you got to be like, I've had baby dolls. I'm like, Lord, she's stressing me out. Let me just work with a whole stagnant doll just sitting there. And I'm like, absolutely. You know what? She want this. Let me just go ahead and get it for her.
Right. And I grew up with 2 younger sisters. So we all had baby dolls. And there were, we playing with them together. We got the babies got swings, playpens.
I had a stroller.
How the baby doll got a toy?
I had diapers. My aunt and them bought us like a pack of diapers to split.
Exactly.
And we was taking we had the little strollers, baby bags. I had it packed. Like, we going to my aunt's house. All right, let me pack my baby bag. Let me get the baby. And let's get on over here.
Yeah, it's in the nurturing. It's in the nurturing. It's not so much actually in the nature.
Yeah.
It's in the nurturing. And it's society based, right? Like it's what all of the kids are understanding, what little girls play with and what little boys play with and how they play differently. No, we're actually raising the kids to play differently.
Yeah.
One of the things, we have a little cousin in my family, and he's like the baby right now. And me and my sisters, for Christmas, he was maybe like 3 or 4. We decided that we were going to get him a kitchen set. And I hadn't like talked to my cousin about it, but I was like, I don't know if he gonna be like, what the hell? Why would y'all get my son a kitchen? But when he got it, they absolutely loved it. Like, my sisters brought it over. I FaceTimed in, and they were like, he was like so excited about this little kitchen set. I'm like, yeah. And they were like, oh, we would have never thought to buy him this. I know.
And he needs it.
I know. And not to say that he needs to be in the kitchen, but again, it's one of those playthings where you make believe as if you are caring for other people.
Yeah. And
those toys tend to go to girls only.
Yeah. And it makes me think, and I meant to bring her book with me. Her name, it's going to eat me up that I don't have it right now. But she was an advisor to Patrice Lumumba. Her name is Audrey. It's French. Okay. So it's Audrey Bon. I'm going to find it. But nonetheless, she worked in organizing in her country before eventually helping Patrice Lumumba. And she talked about how, they're going through the bush. They're recruiting people to their organization. And she was often the only woman. And they would, get to a destination where they were going to set up and have a political rally. And they got men in the heat, unloading the speakers and the trucks. This is in the 1960s. And she would look around and like, who made plans for food? Like, we've got these men who are volunteering to set up stages and stuff for us, and mic systems and, loudspeakers. And anybody playing food? So she was often doing those things. And she was just as organized as the rest of the men, but it took that perspective of saying, like, we can't have these men out here doing all this hard labor, helping us set up for these rallies, and we haven't even made food arrangements. And not just for them, literally for themselves. There was no plan. Where's the plan stand for when we get there? Because once again, we're talking about they are literally in what is called the bush. They are in very rural, indigenous areas in West Africa. And there's no, just run to this store right here and grab a couple chicken patties or something like that. Like, we have to bring food with us and things to prepare. Or bananas and fruit and different things of that sort. And so I thought that was an interesting perspective or point that she brought up in her autobiography. The name of it is called My Country, Africa. So I do know the name. Yes. But God forgive me for
Andre Andre with an accent and then another E. And then her last name is Blouin.
Yes. Loved her autobiography.
She was in his inner circle of Lumumba. So shout out to her.
Shout out to her. So those, like you said, those toys help teach us certain leadership skills. And it might not be seen as that, to be the cook.
Yeah. Right.
To be the nurturer.
Right.
But leadership to me is always a service role. You are serving the people who entrust you to lead them. It is not about the people who are your constituency or your followers serving you and your role and your needs and your desires, which is what we see with the current regime.
Yeah.
But it's about serving the people that, once again, entrusted you. So that's another reason that the men can't lead us.
And this is not to say that like men and boys can't be loving people. That is absolutely not what we're saying.
They have to be socialized appropriately.
Yeah.
To be loving. And because, like I say, it's some girls out there who don't get those type of that type of upbringing.
Of course.
And so it is, once again, feminism is not about swapping out women for men.
Right. No.
It's about eradicating dominance.
Yeah.
And women are often just more equipped. But once again, women who are divested from patriarchy.
Yeah.
If it is a woman who is just as patriarchal as a man, it's no point.
Yeah.
So actually, you might be worse because then you're like, it's like the equivalent of like a coon. Like you should know better.
Yeah.
And you don't.
I mean, there is like, to me, I'm like, there's a history behind it, right? Yeah. Because historically, especially in this country, women were seen as property, were treated as such. Wives in particular, but wives and daughters treated as popular. The concept of the head of household, and that there's a man that works, and women not being able to move, divorce, leave abusive domestic situations, or just leave because they fucking want to.
Yeah.
Or be able to open a bank account or purchase a home or get on, like, so many things actually historically has required you to subscribe and agree with and support patriarchy.
Survival.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we are moving, thank the stars and the ancestors, that we are moving, I mean, as far as possible, away from those types of practices and systems. And so there's I can understand if there are women that see it as protection.
Yeah.
Like if you really see it as like, in order for me to get where I want to go, I'm going to have to agree with this.
Buy into this thing.
This whole concept.
I saw a clip with Dr. Yaba Blaze. Shout out to Yaba.
Mm-hmm.
And I just saw it this week, and she brought up an interesting perspective for what we see, particularly in a lot of West African countries with skin bleaching. And I've myself been guilty of looking at people like, oh my, like obviously like there must be some type of internalized white supremacy, anti-blackness to bleach your skin. But she talked about it, she said, in a lot of these West African cultures that are very conservative, marriage is the ultimate goal for a woman. That is what makes you whole. That is what makes you be seen by society as whole. And so if you're in a society where men are constantly having a preference for lighter women, and there's this product available right at your local convenience store, and if you don't have a husband, you are not just feeling like a personal failure, like that you lack something on an individual level, but you really are shut out of your society.
Like you can't contribute. It
becomes survival to bleach your skin and get the husband. Or for the women who are sex workers, it becomes survival. If you're out on a corner and it's other dark-skinned women and the men are looking for a light-skinned prostitute, and that's how you're going to get paid, by standing out. Bleaching your skin is less to do with anti-blackness. Just like a lot of these women actually are not anti-black. But society has positioned them in such a way that she said we have to talk about the fact that the men want the lighter skin, and the products are readily available to help them achieve that, and therefore,
because who's making sure that's happening?
Come on now. So I love that she brought that perspective to it. That sometimes women, we do have to invest in patriarchy just out of survival, or we don't know of any anything else, because what we hear about feminism in the mainstream is
Mm-hmm.
about super boss lady, like we talked about.
Yeah.
Gail going up to the moon. Gail is on the moon.
Right.
SNAP benefits are cut, but Gail
Gail's
and
on the
Whitey
moon.
is on the moon. and then in their homes, like Bell Hook, you have it constantly being reinforced, not just by the men, which would make it kind of stand out, but like the women are doing it too. And so there's just really a lot of lack of knowledge about it. So women don't feel as though they can even seek leadership.
Yeah.
They want to seek a good man who is a leader, that they can be that good woman behind
that. Yeah. The shackles. The shackles, honey.
So glad they ain't on my ankles. Blocking my toes.
Can't be blocked.
Can't be
blocked.
But that's not because I'm a super person, or like that I just came out the womb like ain't that nigga gonna tell me shit. No, I in ways saw it.
Yeah.
And then also I was privileged enough to take women's and gender study classes and explore these concepts, because I'm sure as Bell Hooks said, at some point we've all been patriarchal, because that is just a society.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Absolutely. And there's absolutely still contradictions that live inside me. I also feel very strongly that men cannot lead the next revolution. I'm pretty clear about that.
I support you on it.
Again, because of what is necessary, which is different from what we've had before. Yeah. This is not to say that you won't have a role. This is not to say that we're saying that men just have to step back and let us do everything. Absolutely not.
Who's gonna get out there? Who's gonna be the gorilla? Who said that?
Who said that? Not saying that at all.
No.
There is a place for all of us, actually, to take on some level of leadership. But in terms of making the decisions about the strategic, motions, next steps, high level decision making,
that really and
I'm gonna go with the women.
Is for everybody thinking about these decisions and thinking about not just how it'll affect the leadership and the people right under leadership, but like literally, are the babies going to be fed in this revolution?
Right.
Literally. Are the babies going to be educated in this revolution?
It's also because so much, and I feel like having the opportunity to read so much feminist text, historical feminist text, that feminism as a movement really is meant to push us to think vastly about care and about the economy. Men have made the decision about defining what the economy is, and it's so narrow.
Yeah.
It's narrow, it's not expansive, it's not creative, and I feel like it's always been feminists, black feminists, feminist revolutionaries that have expanded the definition and my definition of the economy. And we need that type of creativity. We need practitioners that are interested in really doing something that fits for where we are now, not just the traditions of the past, but actually where we are now, not just looking at, back then and the tribes in Africa, not just looking at those things, but where we are now,
today,
right now, and what is absolutely needed for the future generations, which may be different from what the past generations thought that we needed. Mm-hmm. Hello. I'm
gonna read a quote by a man. Y'all may know this man. His name is Karl Marx. And this is in the book Black Skin, White Mask. But it's a quote from Karl Marx. And it says, the social revolution cannot draw its poetry from the past, but only from the future. It cannot begin with itself before it has stripped itself of all its superstitions concerning the past. Earlier revolutions relied on memories out of world history in order to drug themselves against their own content. In order to find their own content, the revolutions of the 19th century have let the dead bury the dead. Before the expression exceeded the content, now the content exceeds the expression. So it's a lot from that quote, but it makes me think of what you were just saying about we can't solely draw on all the things in the revolutions from the past.
Right.
We're in a different, we're in a hyper surveillance phase. We are in
AI phase.
Oh God.
3D technology, just the level of information technology alone. What constitutes as the market is different from the past generations. What constitutes as debt, there's literally more types of debt now than there were 40, 50 years ago. And so we have to develop strategies and a consciousness that is being clear about where we are now and not subscribing to this like inherent gender hierarchy of the past.
Yeah. And what we see as valuable work, because the real care of the planet, of humanity, of our species, that work has been devalued for so long because it was assigned to a gender, to women. So being caregivers, being teachers, being midwives, being people who saw to spirituality in different ways and to the earth and tending to it.
Social workers,
case
managers,
has been devalued because it's a woman's role. Mm-hmm. And what patriarchy does is it elevates the worst parts of us in so many ways, and the worst people of us. Like you look at Trump, you look at other people, they don't have a lot of skills, but they have a penis. Yeah. And therefore, that alone can set them in the conversation for leadership.
For sure.
Because if there was a woman that acted like Trump, 5 kids, 3 baby daddies, looked like that, it wouldn't even be there would be a conversation.
No seriousness would be taken
at all,
whatsoever,
at all. And so with the revolution being love based and visionary based, we have to hand it to new hands that, like I say, have that perspective. Another quote from another man, Thomas Sankara, because once again, men do have important things to say.
They really do.
Yeah, they do. If you haven't read Thomas Sankara's speech that he delivered on International Women's Day, you can find it online. You can get the book. It's a book, but you can get the PDF as well. Wow. He talked so much from the very beginning of how it all went down and the world became so gender-based all the way up into modern times. But Thomas Sankara said the revolution and women's liberation go together. We do not talk of women's emancipation as an act of charity or out of the surge of human compassion. It is a basic necessity for the revolution to triumph. Women hold up the other half of the sky. And he emphasized in that speech that there is no way to have a liberated society when half of the population is still subjugated.
Right.
And
it's like subjugated for the sake of what? What are we trying to hold on to? Yeah. And that's why you can't be in charge. That's why you can't be, because what are you actually trying to hold on to?
It's the threat. So now a quote from a woman. Bell Hooks said, a system that is upheld by, she said, most men find it difficult to be patriarchs. Most men are disturbed by hatred and fear of women, by male violence against women, even the men who perpetuate this violence. But they fear letting go of the benefits. They are not certain what will happen to the world they know most intimately if patriarchy changes. So they find it easier to passively support male domination, even when they know in their minds and hearts that it is wrong. That line, that they are not certain about what will happen to the world they know.
Yeah.
If they let it go. It's true. And James Baldwin talks about this in The Fire Next Time, but not with the dynamics of gender, but race. That a lot of people, white people, have this true fear in its real, in the most psychological term you can, a way you can explain fear. There's a real fear that if this dynamic changes, what will that mean for me?
They think the sky will fall.
Brimstone.
The sky will fall if they not in charge. If they not running the economy.
Things will come to a halt.
Becoming richer and richer, owning properties. What?
And a lot of men feel like, well, if women are no longer subjugated, who will have my baby? It's who will have my baby. Will I be subjugated? And again, it's what we're like. That's why we said from the jump, like, we're not talking about the inverse of what is happening right now. That's not what we're calling for. No. That's never been what radical feminists have called for. No. It's not for the inverse, and that's the patriarchal way of thinking about power anyway. Right. Is that you're only proving my point? It's the projection. The people who are in the dominant class, it is always this projected fear that now I'm going to be the nigger. Now I'm going to be the bitch. Now I'm going to be the hoe. These bitches going to be pimping me out. They're going to be telling me what to do. Yeah, you don't like that concept, you? That's the issue? Right. So, and it's much like, to get men to understand it, it's much like a lot of black people do not want to subjugate white people. We don't want to be bothered. Right. We really just want to go on about our business. Women feel the same. We just want to live our lives, be able to walk out at night, take our trash out, and not be kidnapped. Like, we just want to, do normal things. Come home from work and not be stalked. Break up with someone and they not shoot us. Just survive on normal things. And it's not about me wanting to put a dog collar on a nigga. Like, yeah, now you my bitch. Get in there and cook me a sandwich. Right. Although, hey, cook me a sandwich. Walking like a dog. Walking like a dog. So it's that projection on us that now there's going to be this dominance. And, Thomas Sankara, in that same speech, he said, if women are catty, gossipers, petty, all that, he said, all that may be true. And he said, and if it is true, it is equally as true of men. So once again, it's that projection of like, man, women, y'all can't get along. Why was it all throughout high school I saw niggas fighting? I mean, granted, girls fight too. Like, women can't get along? When do y'all? Who shoots each? Like, black on black crime is a myth. Man on man crime is very, very real. Y'all are always tussling at basketball games, football games, the casino. It's a lot of pride. It's a lot of pride. It's a lot of also like a false audience of men that men generally have in their minds, performing that masculinity of that is around their masculinity. You actually have a fake, made up, not everybody disclaimer, but when things come up around like, well, why she fucking with this nigga and not me, that is some of those things, what you wear, who you love, all of the desires that are fueled by capitalism. It also, with patriarchy, you create a false audience of men in your mind that is monitoring what you do and say. That's why niggas got to be like, pause this, pause that, no homo this, no homo that. Like, even when they just amongst their friends that know them really well, they still have a false, made up audience of other men,
in your mind that you have to prove to.
Yeah. Or when your woman, quote unquote, talks back to you in front of another man, it's like, well, I got to go beat her or check her.
Yeah.
So that this man doesn't think I don't know how to control my woman. And what is that? And so we've had a lot of great male leadership, a lot of revolutionary men, obviously. I mean, like I say, a lot of the revolutions have been led by men, a lot of men that I, idolize. But men, that second head, boy, oh boy, it can knock y'all off y'all course. How many men?
The best of them.
The best. I mean, we love MLK, but baby, the FBI had them tapes of you getting freaky in the rooms. Come on. And it's easy to tempt me. And the ops, they will send in a woman.
Absolutely.
Because they know that man, he could be disciplined. He could run his soldiers with discipline. He don't play for the cause. Dangle a little.
Let a bad bitch be dangled.
Pussycat. Niggas bark like you want it. Bark like you want it. Also, since we manifested the podcast, anybody want to bark like they want it? Holla at me. I think I would like that too. But
spectacular.
Give me 14 of them.
I'll take 19.
And so there have been so many men who were amazing leaders, but that weakness of having to once again kind of play into that masculinity that they have to perform, they have to accumulate bodies to dig in.
Yeah.
And they can be literally distracted and killed, or just blackmailed. I'm sure the amount of blackmailing that has gone on just from men following the little head, not the big one.
Yeah.
And so that's another reason on the list why men, sometimes you entrust them with the community to do certain things, entrust them with certain funds. And once again, Thomas and Carr talked about it. You had people in leadership, they're getting money and they spending it on prostitutes. They're spending it
don't say prostitutes.
Oh, that's not the word anymore. Sex workers.
Yes.
Well, Thomas was saying this in the 80s.
Okay.
But yeah. Sex workers, my girls. And so, it's like
save the girls.
Protect the girls.
Protect the girls. Protect the girls.
Yes. And so you've got men who will literally gamble away the community.
Yeah.
The community's money.
Yeah.
The church's money.
Hello.
At the blackjack table with the mistress on their arm. Sir, we've entrusted you to be a leader.
Yeah. And I know, again, this is not meant to be about generalizing men. This is really taking a look at the systems and how our behaviors determine many different things, but in particular, who makes the decisions about for the working class on behalf of the working class. And I believe the decisions need to be made by women, black women of the working class.
We're always making decisions on a daily basis.
True.
And it's about elevating women to positions where they can make broader decisions for the community.
Right.
Because women, once again, we're thinking about everybody.
Right.
More inclusive. And we're thinking about our babies and our future. We literally birthed them. And the world will be a better place when we actually prioritize children.
Yeah.
Like I said, they are a very oppressed class along with women. Of course, they grow out of it eventually in the child dynamic, but they are an oppressed class as well.
Absolutely.
Bell Hooks talks a lot about that in All About Love. And who's typically doing that oppression, are men who are invested in patriarchy. Yeah.
I mean, I was watching something on Che Guevara this morning, and just thinking about the Cuban Revolution. What immediately followed the Cuban Revolution was this massive push to increase the literacy rate across the island. And in a matter of, in less than a year, they were able to grow the literacy rate from somewhere in the 40 percentile, something like 43% of the island of Cuba could read and write, all the way to like 98, 99% of the island. And predominantly that, which ended up strengthening the revolution. Because again, like, the revolution is a process. It's not just one particular battle. The power and the movement has to be maintained and it has to be protected. And so all throughout these years post the one of the major significant battles, one of the first things that the Cuban leaders did was create this mass literacy program. Majority, almost 100%, majority of the people that signed up to volunteer, this is unpaid labor, to increase the literacy rate across this country was women. And the charge, the idea, the plan, the program of it was moved, created, built, strengthened by women, by Cuban women, in particular. And that resulted actually in really solidifying the notion of communism, the notion of political education and popular education, and learning about what's happening in the economy globally and how it impacts Cuba. Like, all of that strengthened that whole country, just growing the literacy rate.
Yeah.
We have had men in power in this country since its inception. None of them have made education a constitutional right.
No.
We do not have a constitutional right to education in this country.
Yeah. But it's much like the same way that white people in America will not develop, universal health care and free college and all this because they don't want black people and other people of color to have access to it. So they rather just deprive the entire country from these things or roll back certain things when other ethnic groups began to be uplifted by it. Yeah. It's the same ideal with patriarchy and men in general, that if you have a literate society, women who are just as educated, then how can you subjugate them? And so but it holds us all back.
Yeah, exactly. Why would nobody else be impacted by an illiterate society? Like, population of people.
And so it's a way in which patriarchy, much like racism, is about depriving one group. But because we share a nation, we share homes, we share a fate, it deprives us all. Literally. And getting people to kind of understand that. But we have barriers. And so we talked about in the last episode, Christian nationalism and religion. Yeah. A lot of people in this country want the only book that people know how to read to be the Bible. And they don't even want them to be able to really comprehend it. Just be able to kind of read it and be able to quote certain things that fit whatever narrative they want to talk about. And so we have to have not a religion. Well, actually, we have to have a revolutionary religion. Uh-oh.
That is asking for a tall glass, bitch, but why not?
Yeah.
Something gotta happen. I mean, there is the kind of radical, there's a radicalization that is happening in theology.
Yes. There's womanist theology, which is black women led, about black liberation through theology. So shout out to them.
There's options.
Yeah. But they still it's still a male centered religion.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a baby daddy, but there's no baby mama. Why God ain't got a baby mama?
it's just always so interesting, the whole religion thing to me.
Yeah.
It's just so many contradictions in it. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, okay, so growing up, especially, like, I grew up in a time where Harry Potter was like one of the most popular books in the world. And I was like, 10, 11, 12, whatever, when it came out. And many of my classmates were like, oh, no, we can't read this. Like, that's demonic. It's magic. We don't do that. I was just thinking, like, okay, but you believe that Jesus rose from the dead. What is that if not magic? Like, what is that if not magic?
You literally think that the devil is making people do stuff. That's a spell.
What? I don't get that.
Oh, we don't do ghosts. What do you think a spirit is?
What do you think you're praying to?
A dead.
That is what you're not praying to yourself.
You're drinking grape juice and eating crackers and saying a chant before you do it. When you take communion, I forget, it's been a while since I've done it, but there's some talk about, and we eat his body to do this.
Yeah, there's a personification that is connected to a spirit or a sense of spirit.
A stale cracker to eat your savior's bones. Y'all are like,
if that's not magic, I don't know what do people think that is.
Answer prayer is not magic.
Natural? I'm like, no, that's a real question, y'all. What is it if it's not magic?
What got Jonah out the whale?
What? I don't know, y'all. But one of the things that Che Guevara, speaking of spirits, one of the things that he talked about, because I was looking for this conversation, just really thinking about, like, what actually is necessary. Like, we already talked about being a practitioner of love is absolutely necessary to be a leader and to guide us towards the answers of a better future than the one that's being made for us right now, right? And this is a quote from Che. He says, and he's talking about what is required to be a leader, essentially. So he says, so therefore the chiefs must constantly offer the example of a pure and devoted life. Promotion of the soldier should be based on valor, capacity, and a spirit of sacrifice. Whoever does not have these qualities in a high degree ought not to have responsible assignments. And then I had to look up what the hell valor is, because I heard this word before, but okay. So valor is great courage in the face of danger, especially in battle. And one of the things, and he says capacity and a spirit of sacrifice. And that's some of what we've been talking about and the question around patriarchy and those that uphold it, are beholden to it, support it. What is the sacrifice that you are imagining you will have to make in order to be anti-patriarchal? What's on the line? What's at risk? What's at stake? What is the threat? Because it can't be us. It is actually something that is out. And when I say us, I mean women. It's something outside of us. And I think if more men and other people that support and subscribe to patriarchy, if you really assess, like, what actually do you think is going to be lost, then we might be able to be in some sort of conversation. Yeah. But there has to be some spirit of sacrifice in order to be and meet the qualities that is absolutely necessary to carry out responsible assignments. Yeah. Che said it. A man. Again.
Yeah, I think men have to, and like I said, people invested in patriarchy have to think about, and I think a lot of white people are once again having this moment in time about, what is it for me to give up this privilege? What don't I see being privileged? And would it be so bad to be led by someone that I am not in the same group as? Because that's what happens to the whole other half of the population or the other half of the world. And to trust that it's not about, like an affirmative action type of thing. We're saying for this revolution, we want to have we want to have an affirmative action hire for the revolution.
No DEI hires.
No, but women have consistently, once again, because we've been socialized in a way, the way we have to be resilient in the face of battle, have valor. Because a lot of women battle everything out in the world and come home and battle for their lives and for the lives of their children. And that's what we learn about with, triple oppression, is that a lot of women have to come home and face a whole nother level of dominance that men don't. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. We hard body, really. we have to be.
Yeah, for sure.
We need more resilient leaders. We don't need those that buckle. Franz, what is it? Franz Fanon. We'll he talks about in Black Skin, White Mass how really the ultimate goal of black men is to become white. Now, he said it. Read the book. It's in this context. That's what he said, though. And so we've seen that in a lot of formerly colonized countries that won their liberation. They had leaders installed that just wanted to end up acting just like the European leaders who were there before. I mean, what's the movie? The Last King of Scotland?
I ain't seen it, but
What? With Forrest Whitaker? He won the Academy Award. I mean, he literally was referring to himself as the last king of Scotland.
Yeah. No, I heard it was good.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
I heard it was good. I got a thing against Forrest Whitaker. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. It's just a thing. Everybody that... everybody says, is it the eye?
I love it. He did a phenomenal job in that movie. And it was based off a true story, And so we see where a lot of men get elevated and they've been deprived. Black men in particular have been deprived and shut out of the fullness of what they think their manhood is, because white men have had like a monopoly on it. Absolutely. And so they ascend to power and just end up mimicking the behavior of their oppressor. Yeah. And so
no self-assessment, no self-awareness. No consciousness.
No. It's just like, hey, now I got the big truck,
creativity.
I got the big guns, I got the big bombs now, so I'm there. I've made it. Yeah, and it's a new dawn and it's a new day. So when we say, I respect your ambition, but you got to have vision.
You got to have vision.
I think everything about how we move forward, we can have radical visions about what we want. And seeing women, well-equipped women in leadership, not women who, like Kamala, are going to say, I would never depart from any of the things that Biden did. We don't need those women too. They can stay where they're at. Yeah. Don't come over here. But we want women to come in and bring the skills that society has instilled in them since a child. Yeah. To have care, love, nurturing, tending to people. Yeah. And bring that to the revolution, because that's the only one that's going to save us, a radical feminist revolution. That's it.
That's it. I mean, we didn't said it.
Say it again. A radical feminist revolution.
A radical feminist revolution. That is our demand. That's our number one demand as Revolutionary Baddies podcast. And it should be yours.
Man or woman.
It should be yours.
And you can still hang on to that nigga. Ladies, you ain't got to. I ain't letting go of ain't nobody talking about none of that. Ain't nobody saying be on some fuck niggas. Ain't
go ahead and keep them.
Keep them, girl.
Keep this little dusty ass.
Keep housing them. Okay.
Go ahead, girl.
Yeah, all right. You got it. Right. But we have to have a radical feminist revolution. And you can still have all the things that you want. You can still have love. You can still have children,
those things. Well, you can't have everything. There's going to be some sacrifices.
Hello.
I said it.
What's the main one?
I think the sense of dependency.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
once again,
which is a challenge for me.
Yeah.
Because if something goes wrong with my car, I'm calling my uncle. I'm calling both my uncles, and I'm calling the car man that usually fix my grandma's car.
Because men should be useful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, come do the man things. I'm not opening up a jar around a man.
This is the contradiction that we are wrestling with and still very much believe a radical feminist revolution. Okay, so what you sacrificing, Brittany?
I done made the sacrifice. I've given up. It's a lot of comfort in seeking men for security.
Yeah.
And feeling like, validity. I've given it up. I've given up the cross.
Okay.
I've given up Christ. I said, thanks, boo. I think, if you did it for me, appreciate it. So that in a way ostracizes me. And I've given up the ideal that I have to have a man to be full. And that's not easy because I got one income.
Yeah.
Jesus, sometimes I want to buckle and shut my mouth and get me a good man, Savannah. But I'm out here being divested from patriarchy and not feeling like I gotta have a man to shelter me, which once again y'all gotta read Thomas and Carr's speech. He talks about how a girl child is under the protection of a man. We're raised to feel like we're under the protection of our fathers, and then we're literally handed off at the altar. That's why the dad walks you down, and he say, all right, I had her, now you got her. And I ain't got my daddy go. And ain't nobody handing me off to nobody, you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm good.
And so I've had to give up a lot of things that naturally I was raised, not necessarily in my home, but by society, to attach to what would make me full and secure as a woman.
And fantasize about.
I've had to give up the fantasy. And God knows the girls love the Lulu.
Yes.
Sometimes I want to slip in it. Every time I pay my rent, I said, bitch, that's enough. It's time to get delusional around this motherfucker.
It's time.
Time to call a man and say, yes, daddy, I'll make that sandwich, but I've had to give it up, and it's hard. Really hard.
But, I appreciate you. You are doing what Shay talked about in the spirit of have a spirit of sacrifice.
Spirit, truly.
Yeah, and it is hard, obviously, because traditionally, even if it's not how you're raised, like I was also fortunate enough to grow up and be raised by very independent, free-thinking women. Obviously there's still some tendencies that exist there that are, misogynistic, but for the most part, I was not, my mom was never like, till this day, my mom will be like, just so you know, you do not need to have kids. You do not need to get married. Like, it is okay. Do not feel like you gonna be making me proud or, proving some sort of point for me. Don't do it if you don't want to. And so I was, fortunate enough to grow up not fully having to subscribe to the delusion or the fantasy of it.
Right.
But I think it's worth thinking about and posing to our audience, like, what are you willing to sacrifice to contribute to building the next revolution, which, like we said, needs to be a radical feminist revolution.
Based in love.
Based in love.
Ladies, do you believe you have the power to be the leaders?
Right.
Because we have to examine. It's not just that the men don't believe that we can be leaders.
We hold ourselves
back.
have
to. Do we believe it for ourselves, or do we believe that we are once again positioned to be the good woman behind? A strong leader. Yeah. So there it is.
Thank y'all so much.
Yes.
Thank you. I was actually very nervous. Brittany might confirm with y'all, but I was actually very nervous about this conversation. I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, I need to do some research. And Brittany was like, shit, I ain't got to do it.
Shit, we can get in there and talk about it. I read one chapter from Feminism is for Everybody. I said, that'll do it.
That'll do it. But speaking of, what did we bring with here? Because we got a nice juicy stack today.
I mean, okay, I'll go through my stack. I dabble. I brought Black Skin, White Mask.
Yes.
I brought All About Love from Bell Hooks. I brought
Bell Hooks, Libra
Feminism is for Everybody from Bell Hooks. I brought Women's Liberation and the African Freedom Struggle by Thomas Sankara. And I brought Left of Karl Marx, The Political Life of Black Communist Claudia Jones. I didn't really even get into a lot of quotes from her, but I did mention triple oppression. And Claudia was someone who moved the Communist Party and theory to the left. She pushed it further to be more inclusive. So shout out to Claudia Jones. Please look her up. And then I brought Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, and it really just talks about how we live out male and female dynamics post-slavery in the Black community, and how once again our men were socialized to be dominant over us because they were shut out of power as being chattel. So those are some goodies. What you got?
I have How We Get Free, Black Feminism and the Combahee River Collective by Kienge Yamada Taylor. It's a short, cute little book, and it's an interview actually that Kienga has with members of the Combahee River Collective, and talks a lot about the feminist movement of the 70s, 80s. I have Wake by Rebecca Hall, which is actually a graphic novel, but it's about the hidden history of women-led slave revolts. So it takes a look at, it's a graphic novel, so it adds some, illustrations, some of the imagery of it, but it gives multiple stories of history of women-led slave revolts in I think mostly in the U.S., but also gives more of a kind of another story about her as a historian trying to find these archives and just the challenges that she faced trying to find things in the library and having access and blah, blah, blah. So that's a goodie. I have Want to Start a Revolution, which I absolutely love. I think I got this book from my comrade Aaron. Shout out to you. But it's about radical women in the Black freedom struggle. So each chapter kind of highlights a different woman, many women I have not heard of, but also many wives of some of the more prominent folks. Coretta Scott King is in here, and Shirley Du Bois, W.E.B. Du Bois' wife, is in here. Also talk about Paul Robeson's wife. So many people are in here. From Here to Equality, which is a book that I'm reading on reparations, and Words of Fire, which is an anthology of Black feminist thought.
Heavy hitters.
The big ones. We're gonna put all of this in the show notes in the description if anybody wants to take a look at any of these. But we want to thank y'all so much.
Yes.
Again, thank you for listening to Revolutionary Baddies Podcast Season 2, Episode 2. Please comment, share, subscribe, like, all the things. Review. 5 stars on all your platforms. And feel free to engage with our question for our audience on our Instagram at Revolutionary Baddies. Feel free to sign up for our Patreon. We have 2 levels. 2 levels. We have day ones and we have our Revolutionary Zaddies. So if you want to confirm your Revolutionary Zaddy card, take a look at our Patreon.
Absolutely.
Link is at the bottom. Link is in the show notes. Bark like you want it. Thank y'all so much.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.